Welcome to our very first episode of Made Intelligent. I am your host, Stephanie Strupé. Before we jump on anything else, I wanted to tell you what this podcast is about and why it exists. Because it was not created from an idea that I just had one day. It was created from years of building, learning, making mistakes, reinventing myself, and asking a question that kept coming back. How do we build success without losing ourselves in the process? When I started my first business, I thought I was building freedom. I wanted ownership. I wanted the ability to make my own decisions and to choose how I spend my time and create a life that aligned with what mattered most to me. At the time, I was working in the corporate world, and although I had a good position, I felt limited. I had ideas, I had perspectives, I wanted to create, but I often felt like there was a ceiling on what I could do. I remember thinking, if I try, I can figure it out. I did not know exactly how everything would work. I did not have a perfect plan, but I had the belief that if I was willing to learn, adapt, and solve problems, I could build something. And that belief became the foundation of my journey. I started my own business, and slowly through hard work, persistence, and a lot of learning, I built it. I went from earning a monthly salary to creating a business that generated hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I worked with amazing companies and brands. I had a team of 15 people scattered across continents serving different markets. I help organizations solve problems, create strategies, improve their marketing, and navigate complexity. And one thing became very clear. The thing people value most about me was not just execution. It was my ability to see things differently, to look at something complicated and make it simple, to organize what felt chaotic, to find opportunities that others weren't seeing. At that time, I didn't fully understand that this was my strength. I just knew I loved helping people create clarity. But there was a lesson I had to learn the hard way. The business I built to create freedom eventually became something that required more and more from me. And I think many entrepreneurs experience this. At the beginning, you're everything. You're the vision, the decision maker, the person who knows every detail, the one who solves the problems, answers the questions, deals with customers, make things happen. And in the beginning, it's normal. That's part of our journey. But there comes a moment when the business has to evolve. Because what helped you create the business is not always what helps you scale the business. Two different things. And I eventually realized I had built a business that depended too much on me. The processes were in my head. The knowledge was in my head. The decisions came back to me. I was not just leading the business, I was carrying the business. I was the business. And the irony was that I created a business because I wanted freedom. But without the right systems and structures, I was creating another version of being trapped. Looking back, I see the lesson. A successful business should not require the owner to be involved in everything. A successful business should create space. Space to think. Space to make better decisions. Space to focus on things only the owner can do. Because when you're constantly reacting, answering questions, fixing problems, and putting out fires, you lose the most valuable resource you have, your ability to think. And thinking is where better decisions come from. This lesson followed me through different chapters of my life. I built another business in a completely different industry. I created a wellness brand. I experienced product development, customer, marketing, and the challenges of building something new. And once again, I find myself coming back to the same questions. How do we make things simpler? How do we create systems? How do we help people get better results without creating unnecessary complexity? The business changed, the industry changed, but the mission stayed the same. I have always been fascinated by helping people create better ways forward, helping people move from confusion to clarity, from chaos to structure, from being overwhelmed to feeling capable again. But it's hard to see it when it comes to yourself, isn't it? That is why I created Made Intelligent. Not because businesses need another tool, not because technology alone creates success. The world already has more information, more tools, and more technology than ever before. What we need is better thinking. We need the ability to step back, understand what is really happening, make intentional decisions, and use the right tools for the right reasons. And this is where technology, including AI, becomes incredibly fascinating. I believe AI is one of the biggest opportunities we have ever had. But AI doesn't replace thinking, it amplifies it. Let me explain. A business with clarity, strong systems, and intentional leadership can use AI to become even more powerful. But a business without clarity can simply automate confusion. The question is not how do we use more technology? The better question is how do we think better so we can use technology intelligently? This podcast is a place where we will explore those questions. We will talk about entrepreneurship, leadership, business systems, personal growth, about technology and how it's changing the way we work and the way we live. But most importantly, we will talk about the human side of all of it. How we make decisions, how we handle uncertainty, and how we create success without sacrificing ourselves. Because I believe the future will not belong only to those who know how to use the newest tools. It will belong to those who know how to think better, those who can question, those who can adapt, those who can create with intention, those who can make intelligent decisions in a world that is changing faster than ever. So this is really the heart of it all. If you're an entrepreneur, a leader, or simply someone looking for more clarity in the way you work and live, welcome. Thank you so much for listening and for being here at the very beginning of Made Intelligent. If this episode resonates with you, I'd love you if you subscribe and share with a friend. I will catch you in the next episode.